Well, howdy and hello. You've got the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Porsche fans, author Randy Leffingwell joins us. We'll give you insight into his book. I'll give you my thoughts on a little Japanese hot rod, the Acura Integra S. And Jeff has this week's Motor Minute just ahead in this segment of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. And you're going, well, wait a minute. Wait, it's 10. What happened to 8? Well,
we slept in.
We've moved the show a little bit, and we shortened the show a little bit. So with lots of changes, and we hope that you'll enjoy our new formatted show.
But you know what? You don't go changing.
To try to please me. There's a song in that, I
think
believe.
so.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've changed it up just a bit. We've it's going to be a quick moving show.
It's different already.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's the way I'm combing my hair this morning.
I think so. You know, I carry a comb.
That was because of the rain.
I just can't part with it.
Yeah, you can't. Well, your part's just a little bit bigger than mine, that's all.
Easy, Mike.
All right.
I like that one.
Did you?
The guy's name is Randy Leffingwell, and he is joining us right now from SoCal.
Oh.
He's the author of a book called Against All the Others, Porsche's Racing History. And Randy, good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, guys. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So I assume that this is just the first chapter of many that you've got in store for us all. Am I right?
Oh, yes. This is a multi-volume. One of my friends described it. I should sell it with big chains and issue it only to super yacht owners as their boat anchor.
Well, we've got a whole format of music for you called Yacht Rock. So it goes all hand in hand. Yeah, there's that.
Sign me up.
Okay, you got it. So Randy, obviously you're a Porsche file, and the boys said, "Oh, Porsche," and I'm thinking, no, I think it's Porsche. How do you pronounce it?
Well, Ferry Porsche, when I met him, said Porsche.
Porsche.
Oh, Porsche.
Yeah, it's Austrian, and that's how they pronounce that final E. It's sort of like a little bit of a sachet. It's a Porsche.
Porsche. So do you tell all your friends you're driving a Porsche?
I am a very fortunate man. I do drive a Porsche, but I don't tell everybody. Although I guess I just did.
I guess so. What model do you have?
I'm a very fortunate man. I've got a Cayenne hybrid.
Oh.
So I can be politically correct here in California, but I've got all the suspension packages on the thing that'll make it go around corners more like a Macan or even it handles very well.
Yeah. Well,
I had some really good advice.
You know, I have known a few Porsche.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just going to call it Porsche just to make it a Texanized.
Porsche's fine. Porsche's fine.
Good. I have known a lot of Porsche files, and there is a certain thing that you guys have that I think all of us Corvette owners really admire and aspire to. How's that?
Okay, I've written about Corvettes, so I've got a whole space in my heart for them too.
Yeah, it's a different way of looking at sport cars. And,
absolutely.
And when people tell me, because I review all sorts of things, you know,
sure.
And we have the Americans, we have the Germans, and then we have the Japanese or Asian brands, and they all have their own idiosyncrasies.
Little niches.
Yeah, and I will tell you that I thoroughly enjoy driving German brand cars because I'm coming out of an American car. And not that they're better, they're just different. But
correct.
The Porsche, to me, is at the top of the heap. And we have a friend of ours that we advertise for and do work with. He owns a company called, what is the name of the company? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. And he has these events from time to time. They're called car socials. And he does a lot of high-end cars.
Very high-end.
And the last event that he had featured the Porsche brand. And we spoke with several of the Porsche owners here in town, very passionate group. And you know, there's an admiration there that I don't even know how to explain it, but we really enjoyed our conversations with him. Let me put it that way.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, you guys that are the Porsche files are really passionate about it. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, somebody buys a Porsche and then turns around and flips it. Not that kind of thing. I'm talking about guys that are really into Porsche. My old high school buddy, my hot rod friend, Ross Putnam, he actually has a Porsche and absolutely loves the thing. It's garage kept with a cover over it. He drives it on nice days. One of those kind of guys.
I'm not that.
You're not that. You drive yours.
I drive, and not only that, I've always sort of thought of myself less of a car guy and more of a people guy. That was what appealed to me about doing this book project, was the chance to meet and talk to all these racers and designers and engineers and managers and bosses. And my God, have they got the stories. That's what sold me on the project. Interesting.
Well, and, you know, that really kind of parlays into the whole Corvette admiration that you have, because you've been there, and I will
same.
Yeah, it's a group of us that all get together. I mean, these guys that are with me today, I really attribute the Corvette passion that I've had almost all of my life, and so it's all kind of bundled in together. We admire all cars, but I will tell you that my choice happens to be the Corvette. So let's talk about your book.
Yeah, I want to ask a question about that. You getting to the book, when you interviewed these folks and you talked about the people, was there a common thread or a theme that they all kind of had that they don't know they have, but you picked up on it to put in the book? And is this the first volume? I understand there's more to come after this book.
I'll answer the second part first, which is yes. There are many more volumes to come. Right now, probably it looks like another 14. So reinforce your bookshelves.
You've been sold by Encyclopedia Britannica. I can tell you that right now.
Well, actually, the killer was when Porsche offered me this project, a guy named Dieter Landenberger and his colleague in the archive, Jens Torner. We were at dinner. It was my last night there after working for about 4 weeks on another book project. And I took him out to dinner to thank him for their time. And they said, "Randy, we have a book idea for you." And, you know, you hear that and you think, oh, goody, the covered bridges of Bavaria.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Dieter said, "We would like you to do Porsche's racing history."
Oh, wow.
And after I picked myself up off the floor and asked why me, they said, "Well, as an American, you will cover Porsche's racing history in the world. If we give it to a German, he will say, Porsche raced throughout Germany, and there were races in America and the UK. If we give it to a Brit, he will say, Porsche raced at Silverstone and Aintree. Period, end of book." But an American is going to cover the world, and that was, again, part of the fun of this thing. So to answer the first part of your question, the thing that is uniform with all of them is their passion. That, as you mentioned about Corvettes and your passion for that, Mark, these guys, these men and women that have created these cars and these interiors and these marketing plans, it is deep in their hearts, deep in their soul, to make something that carries on the legend and the legacy.
Passion.
So
I should actually learn the word for it in German.
Yeah. Is there a certain year, or are you dividing this up into years? How are you going about a multi-volume book?
That's an interesting question, and it really vexed me. When Dieter described the book, I said, okay, fine, great. I can start right after World War II. And, you know, pick up the German economic miracle of the 1950s and carry it through Porsche's development into a worldwide brand. And Dieter looked at me and said, no, Randy. Ferdinand Porsche raced the first car he ever built in 1899. Porsche racing starts there. And I thought, oh boy.
Yeah.
This has just doubled. And then he said the two magic words, we would like it encyclopedic and comprehensive. So you tell an author that you want something encyclopedic and comprehensive, and I just went nuts. So I interviewed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I was just going to say I'm having a hard time imagining, that many books. I mean, you go back and parsing it out, like you said, into sections, and then trying to figure out a timeline to do all that in.
Well, yeah, the whole pre-planning of the book. I mean, that in itself would take me years.
It almost took me years. I mean, it has taken me years. This dinner conversation happened in November of 2011.
Wow.
David Bull signed on to the book in the spring of 2012, and I've been working on it since, but I've been doing Porsche books since 1990. So I'd already met some people, and I'd already begun thinking about, I'm a racing fan. I love motorsports. And so Porsche's motorsports program has always been somewhere circulating in my brain between Porsche and Corvette, my two race cars. So when this thing came up and Dieter said, no, 1899, well, so you start at 1899 and you go to the present. The problem is, as a book author hoping to sell books, there aren't too many folks around who were alive in 1899 to watch Ferdinand Porsche race his electric car up a mountain. And so as we organized the books to try to make some sensible start point, we kind of plopped it down right in the middle. And then we started looking for a year that would really be identifiable. And of course, 1968 is the year the 917 was invented, if you will. And everybody's heard of the 917. So that became the point. And so what I do now is kind of I think they call it in media res. It's where you start in the middle. It's like a movie. Start in the middle of it, go a little bit, do a flashback, and then bring it right back up to the present and on through to 1999 when my series of books will end.
Very interesting. So it truly,
really,
well, yeah, but I understand. So let me ask you this: so is this book on the shelves, ready to be purchased now?
I think Volume 1 is, if not already in the U.S., on the way. It was printed in Hungary by a company called Interpress. They do wonderful work, and I know for a fact that the publisher's already gotten the first advance copies. We are launching this book at an event called Porsche Works Reunion, which takes place during the Monterey Pebble Beach Auto Week in about 3 weeks in Monterey, California. And I think that's the first real availability for customers. I imagine you can pre-order it on, www.bullpublishing.com
or Amazon.
Probably Amazon. Yeah, I know that Jeff Anderson, who's the general manager, has been talking about ways to distribute the book. So,
well, I'll tell you that I know that every Porsche fan is watching or is downloading a podcast of this interview with you right now.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we hope so for your sake as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. How many pages is it? The first volume?
The first volume is 432 pages, about 260 photographs, maps, technical drawings, some really, really, really cool notes from some of the managers and some of the drivers about how they take certain turns, where the refueling stops are. They when Dieter and Jens offered me this project, they basically threw open the doors to the archive and said, "Go, look, research, do."
Wow.
How do you do that? I assume that you did that in Germany. Are you fluent in German?
Getting there.
You're getting there, because I would assume that those early books mainly were German.
Oh, almost no. 99% of everything is German.
Yeah.
But Google Translate is my best friend.
There you go.
Gotten really good keystroking in
That's
German.
how we got the Porsche.
The Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah,
that's how
it.
the Porsche.
Exactly.
Well, it sounds like an intriguing book, and
Jeff Heitzman offered a suggestion.
Leidenschaft is passion.
One of our listeners online sent that in.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff Heitzman. I can't imagine how he would know that. But at any rate, it's great talking with you. Randy Leffingwell. The book is called Against All the Others, Porsche's Racing History, Volume 1. And I know that, hey, even though we're still at the very end of July, we ain't got that many months to go before Christmas gets here. What a great Christmas gift for those Porsche files.
Please, think of me at Christmas. Not to give it to me, but to give it to your friend.
There you go.
Well, Randy, it's great talking to you. Thanks again for your time this morning. I know it's early out there on the left coast. It's 8:16 out there.
I'll get up early for you guys anytime.
Well, we appreciate that.
it.
Be sure and check back in with us. Let us know what else you got cooking.
I'll do that. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Great. Hey, you can catch the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our live 2-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider.